Hello and welcome to what is round 3 of the Silver Sprint series at Hungary. This is a bit of a delayed video getting up online. This was actually raced 2 weeks ago. So this is a pre-recording now of what is round 3 at Hungary, and you are in for a fantastic race. So Ben Gallagher put it on pole. He's on the front row with Mike the Killer. Bazaba is there in 3rd from Tropper in 4th. Shadow is in 5th from Redfly in 6th, with Hagee and Stefan lining up in 7th and 8th. You got MSX in 9th, followed by AMG, Ray Steve, Sir Psycho, Science, Jimboy, CRN, RR Catch and Marky Marks at the rear of the field. So if we look at the table currently, the top 3 are Hagee, Shadow and GTR. The 3 CRM boys are at the top of the table. How will they stand once this race is run? So Ben Gallagher leads them round. There's only 2 corners left to go on this formation lap, and it is Ben Gallagher on pole position. He was on pole for round 2. Ben Gallagher's been very fast in this Silver Series. He's just been very unlucky. He's been on target to win all 3 races, but obviously in round 1 and 2 he had problems. Let's see how he runs in race 3. We'll wait for the green lights to go, and it is Ben Gallagher on pole. Will he lead into turn 1? We will find out now, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Gallagher leads the way. Mike the Killer is there in 2nd from Bazaboy and Tropper right round the outside. They all barrel into turn 1 then. Shadow in the McLaren looking up the inside. Do they all get through cleanly? We will see now. There's some fantastic camera angles around Hungary, it has to be said, as they all come barreling through turn 1 then cleanly. Everybody makes it through turn 1. Ben Gallagher still leading the way in that Audi machine, that number 11 at the front of the field. We have Mike the Killer there in 2nd, Bazaboy still holds on to 3rd, Tropper is 4th and Shadow is there in 5th place, Redfly is still in 6th, Hagee is up to 7th, Stefan is there in 8th, MSX is 9th, AMG Dens is 10th, as he just loses a place to TSR Science. So they all come round. Sector 1 is complete, and we have all runners and riders still, so that's fantastic to see. There's been 0 contact. I will let you guys know this is an absolutely fantastic race. This is probably the best race of the whole series so far. From the 17 runners and riders, there are many twists and turns which will unfold as this race progresses, but we ride on board with Hagee. I believe Hagee is the championship leader at the minute. He's running in 7th, so he has a lot of work to do if he wants to maintain that championship lead. Ben Gallagher, will he deny him that victory this time round? Mike the Killer is there in 2nd, Bazaboy is 3rd, Tropper is 4th, Redfly is 5th, Shadow is 6th, Hagee is 7th, so Shadow is making good moves early on. Stefan is there in 8th, MSX is 9th, TSR Science is 10th, as Ben Gallagher leads them round to complete lap number 1. So the pit lane is now open, ladies and gentlemen. It is 1 mandatory stop for these guys out there on track today. So right on board with MSX then. He is currently in 9th position. I believe he sits 4th in the championship standings, but I could be wrong on that one. I don't actually have the championship standings to hand, but we have a fantastic battle going on here. AMG Dens is leading Ray Steve, Sir Psycho, GTR, with RR Catch, Jimboy Horn and Marky Marks bringing up the rear of the field. So we ride back on board with CRN Shadow then. He is looking to make moves early on in this race. He's trying to find a way through that Porsche machine of Redfly 143. He can't quite get the move done this time round, as Tropper is leading the trainer cars then. So the front 3 are pulling away. AMG Dens also has the trainer cars behind him with Ray Steve, GTR, Sir Psycho and Catch. There are a lot of Nissan GTRs there in mid-pack of this field. RR Catch in the Ferrari, followed by Jimboy Horn in the Ferrari, and Marky Mark's bringing up the rear in his Porsche machine. But we ride back on board with our catch for the time being, as then we do get onto the leaders. Ben Gallagher leads, Mike the Killer leads, Bazaboy. Those top three are pulling away now. Tropogrot, he's just got a train of cars forming behind him, and he's allowing the front three to pull away. And it's fantastic to see a variety of cars in this Silver Series. You've got the Audi leading the Mercedes, leading the Ferrari, leading the Lamborghini, leading the Porsche, leading the McLaren, Bentley, and then we get back to the first of what is a double car there, the Audi machine of Stefan. He is there in 8th place, but we will ride on board with Redfly, who's just behind Tropogrot, who's also under pressure from Shadow and Hagee, as then AMG is still doing a fantastic job of holding off Ray Steve, CRN GTR, Sir Psycho, Catch, Jimboy and Marky Marks, who has just dropped off a bit. He's some 3.2 seconds drifter. Shadow is in the wall. Shadow is in the wall. He's lost that McLaren machine. Oh no, that is so unfortunate for Shadow then. He is in the wall, ladies and gentlemen. He's dropping right down the field. This is going to do his championship hopes no wonders whatsoever. What happened to CRN Shadow then? He just seems to have lost it. I don't think there was any contact. Unfortunately, he just had a driver error there and he's dropped right to the rear of the field. A championship contender is out of luck, and he is down in 17th position. That is so unfortunate for CRN Shadow then. That does allow Redfly and Hagee just to pull away then. In 5th and 6th place as we ride on board with AMG Dens. He's doing a fantastic job of holding off the trio of Nissan GTRs there. The first one is Ray Steve, followed by CRN GTR himself and Sir Psycho. So the Mercedes man has got the three musketeers right behind him in those GTR machines. Ben Gallagher still leads the way from Mike the Killer. The gap seems to have settled between those top three as Tropogrot still leads Redfly. Redfly is now challenging Tropogrot for that 4th place position. Will it change hands sometime soon, as this is a fantastic battle going on here then? That Mercedes-Benz of AMG Dens has been swarmed by the GTRs then. There's some swerving into turn 1. Who comes out in front of this one? AMG Dens holds it for now. Some fantastic defensive manoeuvres going on here. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We got the trio of GTRs really hounding that Mercedes-Benz machine then. He's trying to look for a move up the inside. Is Ray Steve? Does he get it done? Ray Steve is up the inside of AMG Dens, but he regains that position for 10th. Wow, this is fantastic racing going on here. Look at this battle developing. This is some fantastic racing. Right round the outside, 3 wide, 3 wide. You can't go 3 wide through there, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, wow, wow. Who gains those positions? It's CRN GTR comes out on top in this battle. And there's contact, there's contact. There is contact between Sir Psycho and AMG Dens. Whoa, no, 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 no. So what a fantastic battle we were having in there. Oh, I need to regather my breath. CRN GTR did not put a foot wrong. He capitalised on everybody else's mistakes. 3 wide through that fast left-hander there. I was holding my breath for a moment, but he comes out on top. CRN GTR is now up into 10th. He leads away from Ray Steve and Jimboy Horn and RR Catch. So the two Ferrari men are beneficiaries of AMG Dens and Sir Psycho come together. What a fantastic battle we had on lap number 5. But Tropogrot is still there in 4th place. He's still holding off Redfly for that 4th place position. He's going to be getting frustrated now. Stefan is up into 7th. TSR Science is 8th. And we have had some fantastic dramatic racing so far in this Silver Series. Round 3 at Hungary. I was looking forward to getting this commentary out on this round 3 race around Hungary, because it is such a fantastic race, as you can see so far as we ride on board with CRN GTR. He is now your 10th place man. CRN Shadow is still going on then. A lot can change in this race, but he is down in 17th place. He has completed his mandatory stop, so he's got it in early, as we have a Bentley running wide there. But Tropogrot is there in 4th, and he's got Shadow just ahead of him then. Shadow's gone straight on. What's happened to Shadow? He hasn't gone straight on. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. He negotiates those They're very, very lethal, those sausage curves around that section of the track, it must be said. So CRN Shadow is out of position then. He's completed his mandatory stop. He's just ahead of Tropic Rot there in 4th place. So he will be receiving the blue flags, unfortunately for him. He does have the pace to run at the front. It must be said as Red Fly looking all over the back of Tropic Rot then. He's looking for a way past. Can he make a move then? On this lap then. 2 more turns to go. And he will be on lap number 6. Tropic Rot defending that inside line then, holding that position. He's making Red Fly go the long way round. He can't quite get the move done. So Tropic Rot, Red Fly and CRN Hagee, you've got a trio of cars there who have just pulled away from Stefan ever so slightly, and Stefan's got a trio of cars then between himself, TSR Science and MSX. So there you guys in 7th, 8th and 9th right now. MSX in that beautiful pink GTR machine. CRN GTR in 10th, followed by another Nissan GTR in Ray Steve. So a lot of Nissan GTRs in the Silver Series. As we look to, who do we look to? We look on board with Tropic Rot. So we still got CRN Shadow just in front of him then. He doesn't want to be holding up Tropic Rot because those guys are fighting for position. Tropic Rot all over the back of Shadow then. He is out of position. He does move out of the way. Good sportsmanship from CRN Shadow there. He lets Tropic Rot through, he lets Red Fly through. As Shadow cuts the chicane then. So Tropic Rot, Red Fly and CRN Hagee are all through. Shadow stopped. Shadow is out of this race. He's stopped. He's beached that McLaren. He is out of the session, ladies and gentlemen. So a championship contender has left the session. He is not a happy boy this time around. He put that McLaren into the wall, and he's just been out of sorts ever since. That is very unfortunate to lose CRN Shadow so early on. 45 minutes remaining in this one. But Ben Gallagher, no problems for him, as he does get a little bit wide on the entry and exit of the final corner, but no problems. He's still leading the way. He's got 1.1 seconds to Mike the Killer, who is 1.2 seconds ahead of Bazaboy. So the top 3 nicely spread out then. No problems for those front 3 runners and riders. They've got a nice 6-second gap to Tropic Rot, because Tropic Rot has to deal with the pressure from Red Fly and CRN Hagee. He's been taking a hell of a defensive line, this Tropic Rot, so he's definitely compromising himself in this race if he wants to challenge for a podium position. But it's not going to hurt his series standings, is it? Because 4th place is a good chunk of points to walk away with, and Tropic Rot is holding that position right now. Red Fly we ride on board with, and there's another fantastic battle going on here between TSR Science and MSX then. MSX just had the inside line, so TSR Science just had the inside line rather, sorry. So MSX just falls back into position as we ride on board with Bazaboy then. He's having a good show in this series, is Bazaboy, and he does seem to run super well at Hungary. I remember in our very first sprint series he had a very strong showing here. He was challenging for the win, but I think there was just a bit of argy-bargy in the first sprint series, and so he missed out on the win, I believe. But we ride on board with Red Fly. The trio of cars of Tropic Rot, Red Fly and Hagee is still doing battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Absolutely nothing to separate these guys. This has just been an absolutely fantastic race from start to now. We are 13 minutes in to this race, would you believe, and it's just been action packed as Hagee, Hagee almost loses the rear of that Bentley, then he regathers himself and he will come back to challenge Red Fly, I am sure of it. But that has allowed Stefan to close right up to these 3 then. So Stefan's having a strong showing as well. He's there in 7th place currently, but he has managed to close that gap up to Hagee as these guys do battle for 4th, 5th and 6th, as Tropic Rot has just pulled a bit of a gap to Red Fly now, as AMG Denzen once again is coming under some extreme pressure from a Nissan GTR. This time it's Sir Psycho over 13 to 14. Sir Psycho's going to have to go for the... we got a spinner! AMG and Sir Psycho have it coming together then. Oh, this is not what we like to see, ladies and gentlemen. This was very, very unfortunate. Wow, 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 wow. That was a coming together we were not expecting in the slightest. AMG Dens and Sir Psycho. They were having a right old ding-dong battle, and there just seems to be a bit too much paint rubbing going on for my liking. But we ride back on board with Hagee then, as Hagee is challenging Red Fly. Where's Tropic Rot? We've lost Tropic Rot. Tropic Rot has gone from 4th place. Let's check the leaderboard. He's down in 9th, ladies and gentlemen. He is down in 9th place. We are not sure what's happened to Tropic Rot, but he has lost a whole chunk of time and a whole load of positions. So Red Fly is up to 4th. Ciara and Hagee is up to 5th. Stefan is there in 6th. TSR Science is 7th. MSX, GTR and Ray Steve complete the top 10. So it's all change in the lap number 7, lap number 8, because these guys are now on lap number 9. So it's all change in the space of 1 lap around this Hungaroring. TSR Science moves up to 7th in that Bentley machine. Once again, you've got the trio of GTRs all circulating together. MSX, GTR and Ray Steve, as Tropic Rot does come into the pits then. So there must be problems on board the Lamborghini of Tropic Rot, so he comes into the pits. He will fall to the rear of the field. Dancer Psycho is also into the pits then. So they're completing their one and only mandatory stop a bit earlier than usual, it probably must be said. 40 minutes remaining, so 15 minutes gone in this 55-minute sprint race. Round 3 around Hungary, as Red Fly just gets it all twitchy in that Porsche machine. He's just starting to struggle as he's coming under pressure from Hagee. Ciara and Hagee, I believe he's the championship leader. He's putting pressure on Red Fly now, and he's showing his hand on lap number 8 as Red Fly does get it wrong. Red Fly gets it wrong then. He succumbed to the pressure of Ciara and Hagee. Ciara and Hagee is making moves and he's up to 4th. He didn't qualify too strongly around the Hungaroring, it must be said. He was right in the midfield of this pack, but he's had a fantastic first 15 minutes and he's moved his way up into 4th place then. He's using every inch of the track available. And Red Fly has dropped down to 8th now. Very unfortunate after running so strongly early on in this race. So the order currently stands. Ben Gallagher is leading the way. He's less than a second ahead of Mike the Killer then, as those two have pulled a 2-second gap to Bazaboy. Ciara and Hagee is there in 4th. Stefan is 5th. TSR Science is 6th with MSX in 7th. Red Fly is 8th. Ray Steve is 9th. Ciara and GTI is still in that top 10 position. Jimbo Horn is there just outside in 11th. Eye Catch is in 12th. Marky Marks is 13th. AMG Dens is 14th. Tropic Rot and Sir Psycho in 15th and 16th have completed their one and only stop, and we did lose CRN Shadow early on. So right on board with AMG Dens then. I'm sure he's not going to be a happy bunny after having that come together with Sir Psycho. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a battle on our hands for the lead. Ben Gallagher, Mike the Killer, Audi versus Mercedes. Who's going to come out on top in this one? Ben Gallagher is holding that lead nicely though, as this trio of cars has been running nose to tail. It must be said, these three guys have been inseparable, and they've just pulled out a humongous lead to the rest of the field. So credit where credit is due. These guys are showing their turn of speed as the Audi machine of Ben Gallagher motors on. He took pole position. He's led every single minute of this race so far, as he moves on to complete lap number 10 then. So Ben Gallagher, 10 laps complete. Mike the Killer still sitting there in second place. Bazaboy waiting in the wings in third. He's just watching those two do battle out in the lead, as Mike's looking for a way up the inside. He's having a little sniff. He's thinking, can he make a move this time round? He cannot, as Ben Gallagher still motors on then. Half a second is the gap between Ben and Mike. Half a second is the gap between Mike and Baza. Who will be victorious around Hungary only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, but it's been absolutely fantastic so far. Some fantastic racing, it must be said, for this Silver Series, as we still ride on board with Mike the Killer. Then we won't take our eyes off this trio. These three guys are doing battle for the lead of the race. 36 minutes remaining. Track temperature pretty cool at 19 degrees, and it is a bit cloudy around Hungary. Hagi's there, 10 seconds adrift of the trio leading the way in this one, so he's got all the work to do if he wants to take the win on this cloudy Sunday afternoon around Hungary. Stefan is there up to 5th. He's made his way up to 5th. He's been a beneficiary of all the wrongdoings around him, and he is in a comfortable 5th place position. TSR Science is there in 6th. MSX has moved up to 7th. Red Fly is there, still motoring on in 8th then after that early off. So it was all driver ever once again. Ray Steve is there in 9th, and he is pressuring CRN GTR then. Nissan on Nissan action, ladies and gentlemen. Who will be the lead Nissan GTR come the race end? MSX is currently leading the GTRs around Hungary at the moment, but Ray Steve and CRN GTR are having a fantastic battle over 9th and 10th. Sir Psycho is running at the rear of the field. Tropic Rot is just ahead. AMG Dens and Marky Marks are running in 14th and 13th. RR Catch is there in 12th place position in the 647 Ferrari machine. He's 11 seconds adrift from Jimboy Horn in the number 5 Ferrari. So it won't be too long now. We're in January 2021. We should be seeing the Imola DLC very, very soon, which will bring us 2 new cars. We will see the Ferrari 488 Evo and the Mercedes AMG Evo, so those are going to be 2 nice additions for us console users. But we will ride on board with GTR, who's still just ahead of Ray Steve. Red Fly and MSX are running nose to tail right now. The 2 pink machines looking pretty in pink, guys. Red Fly and MSX in 7th and 8th place. Nothing to separate these guys. Well, half a second separates these guys currently, as TSR Science and Stefan then are doing battle over 5th and 6th. TSR Science just thinks better of it. He was having a look at the inside then, just letting Stefan know he's there. He can't quite make a move. One more turn to negotiate on lap number 12. 33 minutes left of this race. It can all change, as we've seen so far. We've seen some fantastic battling, some fantastic racing. There's been a change of hands, change of positions all the way through this field, but there has been nothing to separate these top 3 guys of Ben Gallagher, Mike the Killer and Bazaboy, who have just completely obliterated the field so far. They pulled away and they are 10 seconds ahead of CRN Hagi, because Hagi, Red Fly and Tropic Rot were having a fantastic battle for so long over 4th, 5th and 6th that they were really just slowing each other down. But we do now see a fantastic battle developing between Stefan and TSR Science. Who's going to come out victorious in this one? Looking to the outside is TSR Science. Is he going to go the long way round? He has to tuck back in behind Stefan. Stefan brings them back up. They negotiate the chicane nicely as Stefan brings them round. Red Fly also bouncing over the curbs then. Red Fly, as we do see RR Catch peel into the pits then from 12th place. He's making his one and only mandatory stop, but CRN GTR is still motoring on in 9th place. Then he's pulled away ever so slightly from Ray Steve now. Got a bit of a comfort zone, 1.5 seconds. Jimboy Horn is 2.5 seconds further back, and he's got a nice big 25-second gap to Marky Marks then, as we do have 16 runners and riders left in this one. We started with 17, so it wasn't quite a full field for this round 3 at Hungary for the Silver Sprint Series. But Jimboy Horn having a strong show in there in 11th place. He hasn't really put a foot wrong. We haven't seen any wrongdoing from him so far, as Red Fly comes into the pits from 8th place then. So everybody will shuffle up the order. Ciara and Hagee still in that 4th place position. He's got 2 seconds over Stefan then, so he's pulling away, and he's going to be wanting to close that gap to the leaders. Ben Gallagher, Mike the Killer and Bazaboy. 10 seconds, just under 10 seconds to Ciara and Hagee then, who's got 2 seconds to Stefan, as Stefan and TSR Science are really doing battle over 5th and 6th place. As we do just jump back to the leaders of the race. Bazaboy in 3rd, Mike the Killer in 2nd, Ben Gallagher leads the way. Led every single lap so far. He's on lap number 14. As we just look back to AMG Dens then. After having a strong showing early on, obviously he had that little spin with Sir Psycho. He's now running towards the rear of the field in 13th place, as Red Fly has completed his mandatory stop then. So I'm wondering if the timing deltas just need to update. They do indeed finally update. So Red Fly, Arcats, Tropogrot and Sir Psycho are the 4 runners and riders who've completed their one and only stop, and they are running at the rear of the field as expected. So we just wait for the order to reshuffle itself as these runners and riders come in for the one and only stop. 30 minutes remaining, so we're almost at the halfway mark in this 55-minute sprint race around Hungary, as TSR Science is still there in 6th place. He's having a fantastic show, and then he's looking for a move past Stefan, but Stefan's holding his own, as they are actually closing back in on Ciara and Hagee. So if Hagee's not careful, he's going to have his rear view mirrors full of Stefan and TSR Science. So those 2 guys are pulling themselves along. They're closing up the gap to Ciara and Hagee. But Ciara and Hagee is your reigning AM Series champion. He moved up to the Silver Series, and he is leading the Silver Series. So he's having a good strong showing now, up in 4th place is Ciara and Hagee. So he's moved up the field nicely. This is going to do his championship hope wonders, as Jimbo Horn comes in from 10th place to make his one and only stop. So whilst we just watch Jimbo complete his mandatory stop then. Monday the 4th of January 2021, we are back with the autumn sprint series, the winter sprint series, sorry. We are in winter in the UK, so we are running our winter sprint series. We're back for round 4. We are at Suzuka, and we do have the Pro, Silver and AM categories once again taken to the track, and they will be resuming the championship and the series for another 55-minute race around Suzuka. They've been practicing for the last 2 weeks during this Christmas and New Year break, and there are some promising signs from some of the drivers who've really put in some extra work and practice, and they're really showing themselves, in practice at least, to be very quick around Suzuka. So I can't wait for that one to resume and get in on the action. But we will ride back on board with TSR Science as we talk about action. These two have been inseparable. Stefan and TSR Science doing battle once again for 5th and 6th. Nothing to separate these guys. Audi versus Bentley. Who is going to come out on top with these two? Stefan slows it right down. That Bentley machine bounces over the curbs. MG Dens comes into the pits from 4th place then, and we are into the halfway point of this race then. So 27 minutes gone of this 55-minute race. 27.5 minutes remain. As once again we ride on board with TSR Science then. He is half a second adrift as Stefan, and I'm just wondering if TSR Science is really now just being held up behind Stefan. Then he can't quite find the move, but you can see he has got the pace as Mike the Killer then comes into the pits, then the first to blink of the top three. So that frees up Bazaboy. We'll now see what type of speed Bazaboy has as he's released from that bumper of Mike the Killer. So Ben Gallagher is leading the way. Bazaboy is there in second place. He's 3.3 seconds adrift of the leader. Mike the Killer will drop down the order, so that means Ciara and Hagee will finally be up into the podium positions then. He's going to be happy with that. Obviously he still needs to make his one and only stop, so the field will still be shuffling around as we just lose another one. I'm not sure who we lost then. I just seen someone drop out of the running, but we will focus our attention to Stefan and TSR Science, as Stefan has managed to break away from TSR Science there. So I wonder if TSR Science has just made a mistake. So Ben Gallagher and Bazaboy, where these guys, will they have an answer to Mike the Killer? Will they stop on this lap then? They would have known that Mike is coming for his one and only stop as we ride on board with GTR, who is coming into his pit box in his GTR to complete his one and only stop, as is Marky Mark. So a lot of drivers then blinking exactly at the halfway point. 25 minutes remaining in this one, as Ben Gallagher does come into the pits. Then he gets it slowed down. Does he get it slowed down enough? Ben Gallagher into the pits then. So lap number 17 for these guys. Bazaboy also. So there we go, as predicted. They're answering back to Mike the Killer making his stop, as does Hagee then. So he gets it super wide, leaves it as late as possible, and Stefan then. So the top four all dart into the pits on the same lap together then. Where will Mike the Killer reappear in all of that, as TSR Science then for the first time this race takes up the lead of the race? MSX is now up into second place then, so TSR Science is leading MSX, with AMG Dens just out of position there, running in 14th place. So I believe this is the first time that TSR Science has led a race in the Silver Sprint Series this season. So unfamiliar territory for TSR Science, but he does lead the way nonetheless. MSX is there in second place then, as Ray Steve is in third, and we've got a stop-go penalty for Ben Gallagher, the race leader. Oh no, what has happened to the race leader, as we're still riding on board with TSR Science and MSX? But Ben Gallagher, the race leader, ladies and gentlemen, has picked up a stop and go penalty. That must be for speeding in the pit lane then. He must have just released that pit limiter just ever so slightly too early, and he has picked up a stop and go penalty. Would you believe he has led every single lap and every single minute of this race thus far, up until his pit stop window? Ben Gallagher, sir, he just does not have the luck in this Silver Sprint Series. He has the pace, he's shown his pace, he can win every single round with the speed that that man has, but he just does not have the luck on his side whatsoever. A stop and go penalty for Ben Gallagher, so that is going to put him out of the running for the win of this Silver Sprint Series round number 3, as Bazaboy has managed to jump Mike the Killer then in that pit stop window. So Bazaboy, a beneficiary of staying out for one lap longer. Mike the Killer is down into what is a third place position, but obviously Ben Gallagher has to take that stop go penalty. This is some very unfortunate happenings, as TSR Science and MSX both come into the pits then. So Ray Steve takes up the lead of round number 3 with 22 minutes to go. But Ben Gallagher, that stop and go penalty. So Ray Steve is into the pits then, the last to make their pit stops with 20 minutes to go. Ben Gallagher is still motoring on. He's there in second place, but he has that penalty to take. Bazaboy is there in second place, but it will be the net lead of this race. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a battle on our hands between Bazaboy and Mike the Killer for what will be the race win, as Hagee is there in 4th. Ray Steve, is he there in 5th? How far down the order will he drop as he does just re-emerge from the pits? But it is Bazaboy in that Ferrari machine. I did mention earlier he runs very well around Hungary. I've noticed it's one of his stronger tracks, and he's showing his hand here right now. He's got a humongous amount of pressure from Mike the Killer there. Mike really wants to regain that lead in that Mercedes-Benz. So we've got 19 minutes to get that win, sir. 19 minutes to make an impact and regain that 1st place position. Bazaboy, will he be able to hold off Mike the Killer? Only time will tell, but CRN Hagee has managed to claw back 2.5 seconds, is it? He's managed to gain on the leaders during the pit stop window, so CRN Hagee is certainly on it then. He knows what's at stake as Ben Gallagher drops to the rear of the field. He's been disqualified. He has been disqualified. What has gone on with Ben Gallagher? Absolute scenes here in round 3 at Hungary. Ben Gallagher has been disqualified. He must have not come into the pits on one of his laps to complete the mandatory stop and go. I think we have a 3-lap window to make that stop and go penalty pit stop, and he obviously hasn't done it, and he has now been disqualified. Wow, this is certainly a shake-up if there ever was one. So Bazaboy is leading the way, hands down, on merit. He is leading the way, ladies and gentlemen. Mike the Killer is there in 2nd place. Hagee is now in the podium positions in 3rd. He is some 7.7 seconds adrift of those two out in front. Stefan is there in 4th. Red Player is now back up into 5th. TSR Science is 6th. CRN GTR is 7th. MSX is there in 8th. Jimboy Horn is in 9th. Ray Steve is 10th. RR Catch is 11th. AMG Dens is 12th. Sir Psycho is 13th. And Marky Marks is the final runner and rider in 14th place. So we've lost Ben Gallagher, we've lost CRN Shadow, and I'm still not sure who is the other one we've lost. So it has just been action packed from the word go around this Hungaroring for round 3 of the Silver Sprint Series. I did say, ladies and gentlemen, we were in for an action packed race, and this is what we've got. Whew. Mike the Killer there then, so we will ride back on board with the leaders. Bazaboy and Mike the Killer showing the way, showing them how it's done. These guys have been inseparable, but it is role reversed. We did have Bazaboy chasing down Mike in the first half of the race, and now we've got Mike chasing down Baza in the second half of this race. CRN Hagee is just closing on these lead pairs. They do battle. He's 7 seconds adrift. He's got 17 minutes. Can he close those 7 seconds in 17 minutes, ladies and gentlemen? Only time will tell. Stefan is 3.2 seconds further adrift of Hagee, who also has 2.7 seconds on Red Fly. That's the top 5, but we stay on board with Mike the Killer and Bazaboy then. Look at these two, nose to tail. Bazaboy wide as you like then. He's coming under some supreme pressure from Mike the Killer. Mike is looking for a way past. He can sense it, he knows it, he can smell that Bazaboy is feeling the pressure. We'll just check on board with Red Fly because he's also coming under pressure from TSR Science then. So TSR Science has definitely been pressurising these drivers in this round number 3. He was all over the back of Stefan early on. He's just dropped back ever so slightly, but he is pressuring Red Fly then for that 5th place position. I still can't believe what's happened to Ben Gallagher, who's just been disqualified. Ben, as Red Fly once again is super wide then. Will he regather that position? He's still holding off TSR Science, who has finally made his way past. TSR Science up to 5th place then, so Red Fly with another driver error, who has now lost that 5th place position. Hopefully he doesn't fall back too much more. As we go back to the leaders then, this battle, we need to see what happens between these two guys. Still nothing to separate these two. Bazaboy in the Ferrari, Mike the Killer in the Mercedes. 22.69, nothing to separate these guys. who's going to come out victorious. CRN Hagee still hasn't been able to close that gap then. 15 minutes remaining. The gap is still at 7 seconds. Have you got an answer, sir, in that third place position? He is pulling away from Stefan in fourth. And as TSR Science is now up into 5th place with Redfly in 6th, CRN GTR in 7th, NSX is 8th, Jimboy Horn is 9th, Ray Steve is the top 10 man. Catch just outside in 11th from AMG Dens, Sir Psycho and Marky Marks, the final runner and rider. The 14 drivers left in this round, number 3 around Hungaroring for the Silver Sprint Series. 14 minutes remaining as Bazaboy and Mike the Killer are coming up to some back markers, I believe. Did we just see a back marker in the shot? Who is that? I believe it's Marky Marks just ahead of these guys then, so hopefully he doesn't impede the leaders of the race. So Bazaboy leading the way currently from Mike the Killer. Hagee some 7 seconds adrift. We ride on board with Hagee. Let's see how he is doing. He's some 7.6 seconds adrift then, so Baz and Mike the Killer are just pulling away then. They're pulling each other along, unless it was Hagee who has just made a little drive error there also. Well, this has been fantastic, hasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Action packed from the word go. Stefan is there in 4th in that beautiful turned out Audi. TSR Science is there in 5th place then. Redfly is there in 6th place. He's got 5 seconds over GTR in his GTR. MSX is there in 8th, also in his GTR from Jimboy Horn, who's some 8 seconds adrift then as they cross the line. Jimboy's coming into increasing pressure from Ray's Steve then. 0.3 is the gap between those guys as Ray's is looking for a move up the inside. Can he make it move? Can he make it stick rather? Not this time around. Catch just outside the top 10 then. He is there in 11th place. I say just outside, he's some way adrift of the top 10, but he's still motoring on. 11th, 12th, 13th as Marky Marks peels into the pits once more. So Bazaboy and Mike the Killer then. Look at these two, 0.1 of a second between these guys. Really nothing separates these guys as they are doing battle for the lead. 12 minutes remaining. Mike the Killer has not been able to find a way past as Bazaboy is leading the way. 23 laps complete. 12 minutes to go. Can you hold on for the win? Mike the Killer is breathing down your neck. He's waiting for you to make a mistake. Will that mistake come? Only time will tell. As Mike the Killer and Bazaboy then completely away and gone in this one. CRN Hagee has not got an answer to these guys out in front. He's still 7.3 seconds adrift. 12 minutes remaining. Lap number 24 complete. As there's a drive-through penalty for Jimboy Horn then. Track limits exceeded. It must be for Jimboy Horn, who's there in 9th place. He was having such a strong showing. He's going to have to serve that drive-through penalty. He's been under increasing pressure from Ray Steve, and he's just buckled under that pressure then, pushing ever so hard to keep him at bay. It hasn't gone in his favour then, so Ray Steve will move up to 9th. Jimboy Horn does peel in to instantly take his drive-through penalty then. He doesn't want to wait for that one, so I believe there's a bit of a gap to Catch. He might still come out in that 10th place position. It is just a simple drive-through, so he's probably going to lose around 15 seconds maybe. It's just a straight, it's quite a short pit window, pit lane rather. Is Hungry. So yes, he's still there in 10th place, Jimboy Horn, so not too much lost. Just that one place for exceeding track limits as Bazaboy then still motors on. He's pulled out a bit of a gap to Mike the Killer then, so I'm wondering if the tyres are just starting to feel the pain from Mike as he's in that dirty air of Bazaboy constantly. CRN Hagee still hasn't been able to answer, and he's dropping back. He's 7.8 seconds adrift of the lead cars now. Stefan is some 4 seconds further back also, as TSR Science is 2 seconds adrift of that one. But we stay on board with CRN Hagee as we switch to Stefan then. Let's see what Stefan is doing. He's having a super strong showing. His Steph in 4th place, and he's surely going to be happy with this one. 10 minutes left in this race, ladies and gentlemen, and they're all just starting to form a bit of a gap between each other now. The only real battle is for the lead, so still half a second separates Bazza and Mike the Killer. As we just checked through the top 10, nothing's changed for this top 10 then. They're all separated by around 3 to 4 seconds between each car. Our Catch has been able to close up to, he was over 30 seconds away from Jimboy, so he's closed that gap to 6 seconds. So that shows you Jimboy Horn lost around 24 seconds for that drive through. So, Bazzaboy leading the way. He's on lap number 26. He's got less than 10 minutes to take the win here at Hungaroring. Does Mike the Killer have an answer? He's been on the back of that Ferrari machine since the pit stop windows were completed, and it's been roles reversed. Bazzaboy 95 in the Ferrari machine, Mike the Killer in the Mercedes. Once again, these guys complete another lap. They're running nose to tail, and look at those guys, they are really motoring now. They're almost 9 seconds adrift ahead rather of Sierra and Hagee. So Hagee is really dropping back then. 8.3 seconds is the gap. So Hagee has lost a turn of speed. It looked like he was having a good comeback and closing on those guys. I wonder if he's just settled for that 3rd place position. He knows he doesn't have to do anything stupid. He's leading the way in the championship, and he's going to pick up a good haul of points in that 3rd place position. Stefan is there in 4th. TSR Science is in 5th place then. He hasn't really had much to do in round number 3 as TSR Science. He's had a few good battles, but he's kept it clean, and he's just motored on, and he's found himself in that 5th place position. So strong showing from TSR Science. He's 1.8 seconds adrift of Stefan. Red Fly's had a bit of an up and down round at Hungaroring. He's was in the wall once. He veered off the track a second time, and he's just fallen back and settled into 6th place. CRN GTR is 7th, MSX is 8th, Ray Steve is 9th, Jimboy is in 10th with RR Catch in 11th. AMG Den's just coming round the final turn then, just in shot of RR Catch. So 14 runners and riders left, 7 minutes remaining. Shadow exited the race very early on. Ben Gallagher got a stop-go penalty and then got disqualified. We lost someone else. Tropic Rot we've lost. That's who the other man is that we've lost, is Tropic Rot, who's having a strong showing from 4th place. So we're not sure why he left the session. But Bazzaboy holding that tight line, that inside line then. Mike the Killer has to switch around the outside. Is he going to make that switcheroo back up the inside? Ben Gallagher holds a tight line. Nothing separating these guys then. 6 minutes remaining. Only a handful of laps to go. This is fantastic battling. Bazzaboy still leading the way from Mike the Killer. Bazzaboy, Mike the Killer, Mike the Killer, Bazzaboy. Nothing separating these two. 0.2 seconds is the gap. Is any of these guys going to make a mistake? To be fair to these guys, they have not made a single mistake all race. They've kept it clean all race. Has been fantastic, fantastic racing. CRN Hagee's moved up to 3rd place. He's having a very, very strong showing as the championship leader. He is 9.5 seconds adrift now, but he knows he's got 3rd place in the bag, and he has got himself a nice haul of points at round number 3 in 3rd place. Stefan coming around, taking those bumps, negotiating those bumps as we ride on board with Mike the Killer. I can't keep my eyes off of these two, Bazzaboy and Mike the Killer. The only real battle going on, and it is for the lead. Would you believe 5 minutes remaining in this one then? So 2 or 3 laps left only in this one, and 2 or 3 laps to decide who is victorious. So Bazaboy and Mike Tequila then come round to complete lap number 28. And once again they have been inseparable. So he hasn't succumbed to the pressure thus far, as Bazaboy's kept his nose clean. He's doing all he needs to do to take home the victory. Mike Tequila once again having a look at the inside. Not this time around, not this time around, sir. As he sticks to that bumper of that Ferrari, then they're just drafting each other along. NASCAR-esque. TSR Science is closed back up once again to Stefan, so these two are going to redo battle for 4th place, Stefan and TSR Science. So TSR Science has found a turn of speed from somewhere then. All is not said and done, ladies and gentlemen. I thought it was. These guys were very spread out. But once again, TSR Science is... I'm just looking on the leaderboard screen. I'm still on board with TSR Science, but Mike Tequila seems to have got the lead from Bazaboy. Mike Tequila and Bazaboy. Let's see what's going on here. Bazaboy's still in the lead, and I'm not sure what's happened. So I'm not sure if it was just a brief moment of the timing screens updating. But Mike Tequila is not in the lead of this race. It is Bazaboy still leading the way. Then I'm not sure if Mike Tequila just had his nose in front as the delta point around the track was updated, but Bazaboy is still leading the way from Mike Tequila. CRN Hagee is there in 3rd, Stefan is 4th, TSR Science is in 5th. That's your top 5. Red Fly is 6th, CRN GTR is in 7th, MSX is 8th, Ray Steve is 9th, and Jimboy Horn is there in 10th place in the number 5 Ferrari machine. So 3 minutes remaining, and the winner still to be decided in this one as they make contact. They've made contact. The lead pair make contact. Mike and Baza, what has happened, ladies and gentlemen? What has happened? Bazaboy and Mike Tequila, massive coming together on the exit of the final turn. Would you believe it? They've been running nose to tail at the front of the field. Bazaboy dropping back. He's down in 4th. He's down in 5th. What has happened to the race leader, Bazaboy? Oh my word. It is all changed with 3 minutes to go. Mike Tequila, Bazaboy. I'm sure there's going to be something happening in the steward's room after this one is all said and done. Oh my word. Bazaboy has dropped right down the field. Mike Tequila has not waited for Bazaboy as they made contact around the final turn. Mike Tequila has just left him for dead. Mike Tequila has run away with this one then. Hagee, would you believe? Hagee has moved up into 2nd place. Stefan, TSR Science and Bazaboy is all the way down in 5th. These guys still doing battle. 2 minutes remaining. So this trio then, Stefan, TSR Science and Bazaboy. 4th, 3rd, 4th and 5th. What is going to happen between these guys as they do motor on? Stefan, TSR Science and Bazaboy then. Bazaboy is not going to be a happy boy under that helmet, running in 5th place. Mike Tequila and Bazaboy, my oh my. Wow. 2 minutes remaining in this one, and Mike Tequila does take up the lead of the race. I'm not sure he's going to be able to keep the lead of the race. There's going to be a lot of investigations going on in the steward's room, I'm sure of it, once this is all said and done. But Stefan is now up into 3rd. Mike Tequila is leading the way. CRN Hagee is there in 2nd. Stefan is there in 3rd. TSR Science is in 4th. Bazaboy is in 5th. We are on to the final lap then. What is going to happen? AMG Dens in 13th has picked up a drive-through penalty. I've only just noticed that one. So as we were focusing on this lead 5 cars, it has also all happened behind us. AMG Dens picked up another drive-through penalty. I'm not sure what for. That must be exceeding track limits. But Red Fly is still in 6th place then. CRN GTR is 7th. We'll ride back on board with Stefan then. It is going to happen. All happening. 1 minute to go. The final lap. Mike Tequila, CRN Hagee, Stefan. Who's going to claim that 3rd place position? Stefan, TSR Science and Bazaboy doing battle. This trio of cars. And once again they come back through. Half a lap remaining. TSR Science, Stefan, one on the outside, one on the inside. He comes for the switchback. Oh no, they've spun, they've made contact again. Guys, what is going on? Oh my, Stefan and TSR Science, they've made contact. Third and fourth place positions have made contact. Bazaboy slips through. Bazaboy slips through back up into third then. TSR Science, will he be able to hold on to fifth place? Look at this, you got TSR Science, Redfly and GTI. It's all unfolding on this final 2 or 3 laps. Wow, TSR Science, does he keep it together to hold off Redfly and CRN GTR? Mike the Killer is to come round the final turn. It looks to be Mike the Killer who's going to take the win. Bazaboy has now moved back up into third. TSR Science, is he going to be able to hold off Redfly and GTR? Mike the Killer does take the win then. He stops straight out on track. CRN Hagee brings it home in second place. Bazaboy is there in third, and he brings it home in third place after that collision just a few laps ago with Mike the Killer for the lead. Wow. Stefan is there in fourth. TSR Science holds on to fifth place just from Redfly and CRN GTR. Oh, MSX brings it home in 8th. Ray Steve is 9th. Those guys cross the line. Jimboy Horn is just a bit further back, but he is in 10th place position, as those guys just outside the top 10 are a bit behind this lead group of top 10 runners and riders. As we're just having a look at these guys coming around on the cool down lap then. Can you believe what unfolded in front of our eyes, ladies and gentlemen? What drama, what carnage to close out round 3 of the Silver Series. You couldn't make this up if you tried to write this script yourself. Mike the Killer held on for the win. I'm sure there's going to be discussions in the steward's room afterwards. CRN Hagee from nowhere is up into second place. Bazaboy is there in third after dropping down to fifth, because then Stefan and TSR Science had it coming together, but Stefan managed to recover and hold on to fourth from TSR Science, who was under massive pressure at the end then from Redfly and CRN GTR, as all runners and riders do finally cross the line then, as we do just take a breather. Wow, thank you all for tuning in and watching this round 3 of the Silver Sprint Series. I hope you enjoyed it like I've enjoyed it. This was a fantastic race to commentate on and watch. Please do join us for round 4, which is here on Monday the 4th of January 2021, the Pro, Silver and Amateur Series. Thank you and goodbye.